also quite fit. I told some of the participants my story that I put my alarm clock at 6 o'clock because it takes me 1 hour to get up. I had to get up at 7. And then I was like listening to it the whole hour, and then at 7:05 I realized that it was set on the Moscow time, and it was still 6 o'clock in Stockholm. So I got 1 more hour to sleep. So I'm more fit, and this is my actually second time when I am delivering the workshop of storytelling in English. The first one was in St. Petersburg Club. It was only 10 minutes. It was not a workshop. It was kind of short speech. And usually I do this course in Moscow, and it's from 1 or to 3 hours, short one, and or to 2 days training when we are working on storytelling. I will start with a Jewish, old Jewish wisdom, a short story. Truth, naked and cold, had been turned away from every door in the village. Her nakedness frightened the people. The parable found her sitting in a corner, cold and shivering. She felt pity for her, and she took her home. She warmed her and clothed in a story. And when she felt she was warm enough, she let her go. The truth came back into the village and knocked at the people's doors again. And this time she was welcomed in their house. They invited her to the table. They invited her to the fireplace. They warmed her up. They will warm together by the fire. So this story has been told since the 11th century. So it should have a lot of wisdom in it. So it means that through the story we can easily give our thoughts, our truth to people. We can transmit it better. And we'll speak today about their storytelling, and we'll work a lot, so their workshop is going to be quite interactive. So storytelling is the oldest means of communication. It actually was born by the fire in a cave with very, very ancient people. Even before they started to speak, even before they started to say some R's and S's, like pointing something, they draw on their walls of the cave. They draw their stories, how they spent the day, which dangerous animal they met, and how they coped, how they fought this animal. So they taught the people the new ways of getting food. They shared the experience, and they entertained their family, their tribe. Year to year, century to century, our brain became wired to story. So when you hear "once upon a time" or "I will tell you a story," you certainly get more attentive. Probably you will put away your gadget, and you will expect a story. And we long for the introduction of the story, the continuation, and the conclusion. Like when I'm driving, I hate when I listen to radio and they tell a story, and then I have to park, and I can't listen to it anymore. So I feel really disappointed. That's why I mostly listen to music, because it's 3 minutes. I can wait one minute more when the song is over. So actually, because the people love stories, because our brain is wired to stories, and we get information through stories better, like 400,000 years of storytelling. So we can achieve a lot more when we incorporate stories in the speeches, as the Toastmasters already do, as the TED speakers also do, and we can incorporate storytelling in the business presentations as well. So they work better than the arguments a lot of times. I would like to ask you about your ideas. What we can cover, what we can achieve with the storytelling. So what we can transmit. Do you have any ideas? So first, I will start, and then maybe you'll animate you to some point. First of all, we evoke the emotions. When we tell the story, people imagine something and they feel something. So the first we can evoke the emotions. Do you know why it's important in business presentation?
You can remember things better if you have some emotion to it than or a smell or something. If
Yeah.
you're emotional, then you remember.
Yeah, so you will remember, and it's also another a special way, so where we use storytelling to remember something. It's then in education. So when we want to teach somebody, teach people so they remember better.
Encourage people to act. Of course.
Right, you are. So
Emotions.
emotions encourage people to act. Do you know about the connection of emotions and the decision taking? So the scientists, they have proved that we take decisions only emotionally, our emotional brain. And there was a very horrible story about one American railway worker in the late 19th century. He was heavily injured while working with something came from his cheek and then went out of his head. And he was alive. It was some kind of a big, I don't know how, I don't know the real word in English how to call this metal like stick. And he survived, but he was operated on, and the doctors removed his neurofrontal cortex. And then, so this is the part of the brain responsible for emotions. So they thought, okay, no problem, he won't feel any emotions, but he will live. And actually then they discovered that he lost his ability to take decisions. Just couldn't decide anything. It was like a vegetable. So it means that actually we take decisions emotionally. And then of course, our rational brain gets into action and weighs the decision. Can I allow it or not? So is it reasonable or not? But actually, the people really, we enact people to act. So we encourage people to act. Furthermore, actually, the scientists discovered that the desire to do something creates not in the brain, but in the body. And it takes 30 seconds for the brain to, to elaborate on it, so to realize, okay, I want this. And it actually can be great with a story, because when you tell a story, the whole body, if the story is good, the whole body will react to the story, and then will send the signals to the brain. I want this. I will speak to this person, will buy something. Okay, what else? Decisions. Bless you. So taking decisions. Any other ideas? What can I convey?
Maybe selling some information.
Sell?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can sell some information. Good. We can. So telling about some examples, some stories of using something we want to sell, something we want to offer. Okay. Sandra?
I am one person that tells a lot about what's happened to me, or I incorporate it in the stories so people understand me and my actions better.
So you understand your what better? Your?
How I walk, how I do
How I
things,
live,
how I
how I
react,
think.
why.
And what is it about? So it's a very, very important thing, which is one of the central ideas of storytelling, so why we can use it.
Yeah.
That you transmit your values. So we convey our values, which is very, very useful for the business presentation, or for recruiting, or for hiring. When you tell the personnel in the form of a story about the values of the company, about your personal values. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Because if you tell like we are hospitable, it's different. It's abstract. So one company will think, like one person who works in a restaurant will think, okay, I will serve, I will be polite, I will take their order, then I will bring the meal. And in another restaurant, their waiter will be attentive and will be like screening the clients, and probably will come with some offer, and probably will give some gift so that they will be happy and they will order more. So this is the different understanding of hospitality, for instance. Okay, what else? When there are changes in the company, people are stressed. And if you say, just we will do now, from now on, we'll do this and this and this, do you think you will reduce the stress? No, sure. But we need stories to reduce the stress when there is innovation, there is changes. So reduce stress from changes. Here, it's very good to work with a metaphor. So when you tell a story about something else, and people will get the information, okay, this works here, and they will understand better. Okay, and so another one, which is about the business presentation, you can even build a brand around the story. And I will tell you an example. There is, in Russia, there is an enterprise, small enterprise, like a social entrepreneur. I don't know if you use this word, like the entrepreneurs who not only earn so that they do something good for the people who need support. So actually, in a very, very deep Urals, there is a small village, a practically dying village. There are only old ladies and old babushkas there. And then there was one woman decided, so she would employ them, she would give them work, and then she will get the unique product, which she will sell on the market. So these old women go to the forest and they gather berries, and then they use the berries to make the honey in the form of a cream. So it's a special technology. She bought the equipment in Germany, and also she tells the story how she brought it by train. This huge machine, she brought it to the Urals, and they started producing this cream honey. Then because they have bees, they have beehives, and they have honey, and also these women, they usually go to pick up berries, but now they have the reason, they have the purpose. And actually, the whole village now is busy with working. And as they have some families which would otherwise go to a city, but now they really have a lot of things to do. And they build some children playgrounds. They really improve the life of this small village. So, and they build the brand. So we all know that this brand is the social entrepreneurship. And we know even the name of this very small village. So it's really a story. And there is the hero of the story, one of these old women. And she comes to Moscow for the events, for the exhibitions, and she also presents there. And she's really very nice. There are funny movies on the YouTube with this old lady. So you can build a brand that really will be not only a product, but also a story behind it. Okay.